right. What is going on? You are listening to the Risen Fallen podcast, and I am your host, Mark Henriksen. If you're brand new to this show, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development and how to get your life moving in the right direction. If you're not new to the show, then thank you very much for coming back and supporting the cause, supporting the journey, and supporting the idea of making yourself 1% better every single day. And so just wanted to come on here and have a quick little episode for you. It's Thursday today. We are just ripping through this week, and tomorrow is Friday. We're almost through it. So if you're having a rough week, or if you're having a long week, or if you've just been working hard, you're looking forward to the weekend, you're looking forward to rest, then I'm there with you. I'm always looking forward to the weekend because although sometimes they can be stressful, I feel like sometimes, just trying to get all the chores done and trying to get set up for the next week. Sometimes I feel like the weekends can be a little bit more time consuming than the weekdays. But also it's the time I get to spend the most with my friends and my family members. And so it's, being able to just spend time with people that you love, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your whatever. It's crazy how much that can do for you when you actually, are able to be present and to be grateful for that. And so, it's Thursday today, and as we close up this week, I just kind of wanted to come on here and share, I don't know, I guess kind of something that I've had to think about and, in the past, obviously, but also recently. And I just wanted to kind of come on here and talk about it because I want to discuss it for anybody that might be having like kind of a tough time or maybe a difficult season in their life, or, even feeling like they could be, like, even if you're not, you don't know if you are or not. You're like, is this difficult or not? Like, it kind of feels difficult some days, and then some days it doesn't. And, but I think we all know. And I've recently talked about exhaustion. I've recently talked about gratitude. And I think that those two topics kind of tie into this episode as well. And so I think sometimes it's difficult for us to understand, even if we're in hard times, or if we're in a difficult season, if we're just feeling exhausted, if it's all in our head, or like what's going on even. And I think that it's kind of self-evident. I think it's a lot of the time you can kind of feel it in the interactions that you have and the feelings that you have on a daily basis. If you have kind of that lingering anxiety throughout the day and throughout your life, it's like, yeah, you probably have something going on that you might have to address. And so same thing with just like your interactions. You can kind of feel it in the way that, sometimes it's just like the small little day-to-day things that just start to, maybe irritate you a little bit more, or stress you out a little bit more, or confuse you a little bit more. You just kind of feel like your brain's getting a little bit jumbled, that you just wake up exhausted every single day. Like those types of, when you start to question, like, why the hell am I even doing any of this? Like, why am I, those seasons where it just feels a little bit more difficult than it should. You're just like kind of feeling this, like, it almost feels like no matter what you're trying to do, you just have this kind of like friction in your life, like kind of like resistance that you have to overcome, like just to accomplish like any basic task. Like, I think we all know like that feeling. And I think that a lot of the times it takes a lot of awareness to even identify that we're in that difficult stage in life, that hard season. And I think that a lot of the times we can get into these victim mindsets of, oh, woe is me. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, why couldn't I just get like a fair fucking shake of the cards? Like, how come, it seems that, like, I don't know, you can get into those mindsets of like, why doesn't it seem like it's just working out for me? Why like it feels like everyone else, gets taken care of, and I'm just like waiting for my turn. Like, when's it going to be my turn? And I just think that a lot of the times, it's easy to feel that way, and it's easy to wish for more, to want more, and that ties into the gratitude. The last episode where we just talked about just basic gratitude and just being thankful and being aware of what we have, like taking inventory of what we have and being thankful for it. it's almost impossible to be in that victimhood mindset when we are in that gratitude mindset, when we are thinking about the things that we have that we, you know, don't always deserve, to be blunt. I think a lot of us are blessed with a lot of things that, it's like, yeah, if I were to be honest and keep a truthful count of my behaviors, I probably don't deserve all of these blessings in my life. And so I don't even know how I guess we got to that because I was just thinking about gratitude and being thankful for what we have. But I think that, when we find ourselves in that victimhood mindset and that mentality, it's usually because we're in some sort of a dark season, a difficult time. And that's a kind of a perceived way out. It's kind of like, if someone were to help me out and get me out of this, then I'll be out of this situation. And that's a pretty fair, like, kind of feeling, but it's just not even really generally typically how the world works for most of us. And so I think it's important to understand why we're going through those types of things and understand that it is kind of like, in a sense, it's like, it's almost like a workout. Like, it's almost like a spiritual and mental workout. I think a lot of us, including myself, can easily visualize or understand, like, when things are physically difficult for us, it's like, okay, this is actually going to make me stronger. It's going to increase my endurance. It's going to increase my cardiovascular, like, health, or, it's easy to feel like when I'm being physically exerted or what have you, like, it's going to develop me. It's going to make me stronger. It's going to make me better. And I think that one of the less obvious truths, even though it's like something that is spoken about so much, it's harder for us to kind of understand or conceptualize. But these difficult times are doing the same thing. They're making us stronger. They're making us more formidable. They're making us, and that's not a new concept, but I guess kind of what is, at least for me, is that, the same way that when you're physically exerting yourself, when you go for a hard run, a long run, or when you lift weights, when you do a hard training session, whatever it is, it takes a toll on your body. And yes, it's going to make you stronger. Yes, it's going to increase your endurance. Yes, it's going to, make you better at whatever you're working out for. But it also is going to require some sort of nourishment, like some sort of food source that's going to help you repair those muscles. It's also going to require rest. It's also going to, you're going to need time to rebuild the muscle fibers that you tear, that you are desiring to become stronger. And so when you're going through a hard workout, a heavy demanding workout, it's going to take a little bit of recovery time, and you're going to have to eat appropriately. You're going to have to fuel yourself appropriately. You're going to have to invest in yourself and fuel yourself properly and rest and recover properly in order to get the results, the growth, the development that you're looking for. And I think that it's the exact same way with these difficult times in our lives, like with these issues that we have to overcome, these difficulties, these whatever it is. It's not always like a physical thing that we can do to advance, to push past or move over or through an obstacle. Sometimes it's something that you're going to have to overcome mentally or spiritually, and I think that the same way that when we have a heavy demand on ourselves physically, we need to fuel ourselves and rest and recover to get the true development. When we're tested mentally or spiritually, it's the exact same thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to fuel myself appropriately. I'm going to have to rest appropriately. I'm going to have to actually relax my mind, maybe meditate, maybe relax a little bit more than I normally do, because this is a very stressful time. And I'm going to have to, if I'm going to overcome this, if I'm going to get the development that I'm looking for, if I'm going to get the growth that I'm looking for, then maybe I'm going to have to change up something that I'm doing right now. Maybe I'm going to have to, invest in myself the same way, whether that is, maybe sometimes that is just like, fuck, take a break, go for a 45-minute workout, make yourself a couple of meals for the next couple of days. Like maybe it's just like, hey, this is a tough day. It's a tough week. It's a tough season of my life. Like, what can I do to make tomorrow better? If today's going to suck no matter what anyways, like maybe I can just make tomorrow a little bit better. Maybe I can make my bed. Maybe I can set my clothes out for myself. Maybe I can, people tear on like Jordan Peterson for saying like the clean your room type of shit, but it's like maybe you can just make tomorrow a little bit better. Maybe you can prep a couple meals for yourself and go to bed on time and set a little clothes out for yourself so you can feel a little bit better about yourself. Like all these little things add up. And on days that feel like complete write-offs where it's like this day sucks and it's just going to be like fucking shitty anyways, think about how you can make tomorrow better. Think about how you can invest in yourself. Maybe just spend, if today's going to suck and you're going to feel bad about it anyways, like spend an hour with some of your loved ones and recharge your batteries. Remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing in the first place. And then maybe take inventory. Be mindful after that. Like, get back to work after that. But just take a second to recharge and refuel yourself. Like spend time with people you love. Meditate for a bit. Just sit by yourself in silence. Or if your issue is that you're sitting too much by yourself in silence, then go for a workout. Call up a buddy. Go for a run together. Or just go to a group fitness class, whether that's, a kickboxing class, a yoga class, a Tabata class, a Zumba class, I don't know, whatever, any class. But, just kind of reset yourself if you can and refuel. And I think that a lot of people, we go through these difficult seasons and we don't even understand like when we're starting to go through it. We're just starting to kind of like get a little bit more irritable, a little bit more stressed, a little bit more anxious, a little bit more, not ourselves. And we don't stop and ask ourselves why. And so as we finish up this week, I just kind of wanted to give you guys this, prompt to kind of just think about this because it's something that's been on my mind this evening. And so on that note, I think that's a pretty good place to wrap this up. It's Thursday today. It's the Friday to Friday. And so as we move into this weekend, set a little bit of time for yourself to do some of these things, like just to kind of reset, refuel yourself, and just be mindful of where you are right now. And I think that if we do that a little bit more, then I think that we could give ourselves a little bit more grace and have a little bit more understanding of ourselves and those around us. And just kind of a reminder of like, you don't control the world. All you can do is simply control how you react to it. And on that note, I think that's a good place to wrap this up. So I will catch you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Much love. Peace out. I love you all. Bye.